All right, so continuing on what we were speaking about yesterday with the Freedmen Savings and Bank, these people are professional gaslighters, right? Listen to this. White Americans use the bank's failure to fuel stereotypes about black people's laziness and their lack of fitness for the responsibility of political and economic inclusion. White Democrats and Republicans alike dared to argue that black people were ill prepared for the privileges of freedom. This was why they contended the bank failed. As one of the bank's commissioners told a depositor after the bank's collapse, it was black people's fault for entrusting bankers with their money. Ain't that some shit? He's saying, it's y'all fault for giving us your money to begin with. And you know what, me and my fiance was talking about that yesterday. How did y'all trust these people to do the right thing with your money? So it's like the guy who scammed you is saying, it's your fault for trusting me in the first place, which is crazy. What else did it say? All right, so this is something else you got to pay attention to, because while black people made up 90% of the bank's depositors, they received less than 5% of the total amount of money loaned out by the bank. Moreover, the administrators of the Washington, D.C. branch issued 90% of the loan value, 90% of the loan volume, but collected approximately 11% of the bank's total deposits. So they were really getting like the least amount of money, but loaning out the most money to their friends. And again, they'll tell you, it's your fault for trusting us to begin with. Yeah, that's professional gaslighting. They said they were advertising putting your money in the bank is the moral thing to do. Set aside like the cigarettes and the alcohol and save every bit that you can and put it into this bank. Whole time, I believe they were planning on stealing this money to begin with. So like I said, I'm going to keep going through this book and bringing it back to y'all. But it's crazy that they say pull yourself up by the bootstraps, but we have all these examples of how they came and sabotaged and stole wealth from our ancestors. So again, it goes on to say, they leveraged black people's money and in turn made loans to white borrowers in Washington, people with direct connections to members of the bank's board of trustees. The administrators turned into a cabal composed of